Despite the recent events, I actually locked my accounts until 7:30 a.m., which is an hour after the open. Once initial balance is set, that's when I'm allowed to execute a trade. We were currently sitting at the low a day around the 23.050 around that time period, getting over to there. I wanted nothing to do. I knew shorts were off the table. I knew long in this really wouldn't be a good idea. Turns out that's kind of not true. I was in a live for Ninja Trader, and I got some replays to look over for that low a day, at the very least. But for myself, I knew longs were off the table until we hit 23,160. After this point, breaching that LVN, doing some sort of LVN return, then I can long that up to potentially the start of the day open, reach all the way back up, or whatever reasonable targets are along the way. But I didn't do that. Instead, I actually shorted that point prior. So we're at the top of this distribution. I see initiative selling. We get a little bit of like a push on the seller side. The sellers were so active today, and they just let off the gas. And at this point, the buyers had let off the gas. So I took my TPs to like LVNs along the way, scaled this one out once I started seeing Delta Map extremes. Didn't want to risk anything, take my money. Once I saw at this 160, we got some sort of reaction. I popped off, and I walked away. In hindsight, would I have loved to have longed 160? Of course. I still regret that I didn't. And that's kind of a balance I'm having to play inside of my head, because I'm trying to think in this in perspective that, hey, like, you are here to make money, but also keep the money you make. You know, the more I trade, I find the more retarded I get, and the more resources I expend. And that's why I locked myself out from that first initial balance period, is because I'm too tired when I wake up. Like, I'm not in the Eastern time zone where I can wait till 9:30 a.m. and I'm fresh, rejuvenated, already worked out, I'm wide awake. You know, that's not me. You know, I'm waking up at 6 a.m., trying to prep as much as I can, crunch it all. Market opens, I fuck myself, I blow up, hit DLL within the first hour. It's trouble. So I'm trying to prevent that, and I'm trying to instill this habit that, hey, opportunities will present themselves. You can miss those, and you can still be okay. You can see the best opportunity, and you just were too late to the table. That's okay. I'm trying to bring in this feeling that I do not even have to execute this day if I do not want to. If the conditions are not right, I don't need to sit here. I don't want to sit here at the desk from 6 a.m. till 1 p.m. I'm exhausted. I am tired. I did that for the last... I feel like almost every single weekday I've done that for a long time, or as much as I could, right? There's days I got to go to work, and that impedes in that time and whatnot, or there's certain activities, yada yada, whatever the case. If I could, I would be on the charts until close. And it's tiring. And then seeing that repeated repeated losses I would take, and then that sting on the ego, and just getting so frustrated, crying at some points. I'm trying to remove all that. I want to be here for freedom. I want to be here to make money, walk away, cool, be happy with that. That's exactly what I was doing initially in January this year, when I had the best equity curve, or EV I did. Like, that was the best performance I ever had, and I was just pulling out like $100 to $400, and then I'd walk away. 1 or 2 trades, and I'd walk away. I'm like, all right, I did pretty good. I was even cool, like, oh, I missed this. That was a great opportunity. Whatever, that's fine. Something else will come. You know, I don't need to chase this. I don't need to come up with these stupid kind of strategies or whatever. Safe to say, I don't want to make this too long. Trying to project this for a better long-term expectancy and survival rate. So, bummed out I missed that short. Goddamn right. Or missed that long. Whatever. Such is life. Walking away. I can just imagine I made 250. Wow. Amazing. So yeah. Peace.